what glue are you using today anyway? There you go.
The cheapest?
Have you tried the one with a little brush in it already? They're $2. That's only 50 cents.
This one, I buy them in the big pack at Harbor Freight in these little deals.
Yep.
There's like a dozen of them or
right.
2 dozen of them
right.
in one package, and they're in a bubble pack.
Got you.
I use it till it gets dry, and I throw it away, and I pull out another one.
There you go.
Is this both just craft fur, the back and the
front end is the EP brush.
I've been trying to figure out a way to make those.
Don't waste your time.
Nah.
Nope.
I saw one. There's a thing on.
There's a way to do it.
There's a thing on YouTube.
Yeah.
There's a little machine that spins.
And you can take a clothes hanger, make a small hook out of a clothes hanger, stick a fishing weight on the tail end of it, and make a spinner. Put your 2 threads apart and put all the material in between it and spin it one good time and let the inertia do it for you. But you're going to spend 20 minutes doing this number, picking all the fibers that went underneath.
This guy has a little table. And you take a piece of wire, lay it across.
Right.
Put all your stuff down on top, and you take your wire back across.
Right.
And it has like a hook and a motor.
Yep.
Drop the table down. And then you spin the motor.
Right. Oh man.
So
that would work if you're going to do a lot of them.
I don't know, but you can make it. You can get a little motor probably. No, you can make it look kind of interesting.
If you want to spend the time, you can.
Yeah, if you're
now, if you're going to do a few thousand of them, good idea. But considering how you and I would probably tie,
right. Just about anything. I've done those too.
I've never seen these before.
They sell them.
Well, what's this called? If you're trying to, well, what's it called if you're trying to
EP.
buy? Oh, that's just called
EP brush. You got I'm about to say.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I want to see.
Wait a minute, who sells that? Fishing Tackle Unlimited. Okay, there's a plug.
Yeah, Fishing Tackle Unlimited, you can get pretty much any color you want.
They just started carrying them, by the way,
And then
a few months ago.
You got the 5-inch wide for tying bigger ones like that. Then I use the little bitty brush, like that size.
So what size is this one here?
That's the regular, the basic EP brush. This size. Streamer brush. It's got all
Which way do you go home?
Which way? I'm up in the woodlands. So.
Oh, yeah.
But I know where the fishing tackle.
Okay.
He's got every kind of. They got all kinds of
got
white folks.
Yeah, that's a great story.
It's something to see sometimes. All right, what are we doing? Black, what kind of thread?
Just black.
6/0?
This is flat wax.
Okay.
I use 6/0. I use flat. I do a lot of different ones. What you see?
I'm going to zoom in.
What you see in my fly tying is not pretty. It's about working. Because I tie them for customers. So I don't care how they look. They got to catch fish.
I fished the Chandelier Islands 2 weekends ago, and we were using stuff like this. It's awesome.
I would like to see a type of start.
Which one?
Okay, so you got that covered fairly well with the thread. You just don't want it to spin. You go drop a glue on it when you're done with it?
I'll zigzag it.
Yep.
Then go up the over and under, and then around the top. When you do that around the top,
How about one that is that
do that one. That sucks up any loose thread.
Okay.
Pulls it real tight up underneath it.
Got you.
Where do you get these? These are obviously pretty big.
I very seldom have a lead eye spin.
What size lead eye is that one?
This one's a medium or a small.
Okay.
Actually, that's a small.
Okay.
Then craft fur.
Oh, that's bright colored.
Get the longer craft fur, as long as you can. I've got one in here that's too short.
Did you get it from Joanne Fabrics then?
I get Fish Tackle Unlimited. I get the regular.
Yeah, because I find the longer ones at the fishing stores more often. And I thought it was going to be cheap one day and get it from a craft shop, and they were too short.
Yep, it's called Extra Select. And I don't know what the deal is, but you can't find it at the craft stores.
Right.
You do craft store, You get that?
Oh yeah, too
Way
short.
too short and it's thinner.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work as well. This stuff is thick. It also has a lot of underfur to it.
So you don't use the underfur to build the body, you just comb it out?
Comb it out, make it thinner so it'll sit on the hook. A
Okay.
little tighter. Brush it out a little bit.
And I'm zoomed in on the hook itself, so
Pick up a little puff of sand, it's going to look like something trying to escape. That just,
how long are you going to have this stick out the tail end of the hook?
However long I can get the craft fur. I like a long tail.
Okay.
I mean, there's times I'll tie shorter ones, little smaller flies, but generally speaking, I want that craft fur to stick out there a long ways.
Okay.
A couple loose, 3 or 4 loose wraps, and start tightening it down a little bit. I want it to stay on the top of the hook as best you can. Like I said, my tying's not real pretty.
Do your flies catch fish?
Everything gets covered up in the end.
I've been trying to tie that green weenie of yours. I have made a mess of it about 20 different ways.
I didn't bring anything to tie that today.
What's funny is I've tied like 10 of them so far, and not 2 of them look alike.
Yeah, you get that.
I just got to practice more with it.
This is the secret to longevity.
Glue.
Super glue.
I mean, these are all.
They sell a little bottle of super glue at Walmart. It's got like a blue top or a purple top. It has a brush in it already. Oh, really? It's $2. And the only reason I use it instead of that is because it lasts a little longer than dry out as fast, and I like the idea of having a brush. But that's just me.
I'm not big on the brush. I like just being able to stick it down in there.
Be done. All right, what you got here? What
This is cactus chenille.
Cactus chenille, kind of a burnt orange?
Yeah, it's a burnt orange one.
Any particular favorites on colors?
I use a lot of orange, and sometimes I use chartreuse.
Now, are you doing that where the fish can see it or where you can see it?
This adds a little bit of color to it, but one of the biggest parts of this, if you see one of Andy Packmore's original crack flies, it won't have that on there. There's something that I added to it.
Okay.
Because at first I did it with a feather. Just did a hackle underneath there to add a little color to it. That was my first initial thought, was adding some color up underneath that collar.
Right.
So when a fish is coming from behind it, he sees that little bit of color. I did some chartreuse, some orange. Well, then I realized that if I ran out of what I wanted to use, so I ended up using this cactus chenille one day. What ended up happening, it made the head puff out bigger. So it pushes more water with the head.
Got you. That lateral line business.
So yeah, it just makes sense. Then you take that's the EP brush.
And what color is this one?
This one's olive with the I think it's rust-colored legs in it.
Okay.
Sometimes I use the one with legs, sometimes I don't.
Now, any favorites on colors again?
I do a lot of olive and a lot of tan.
Okay. So you got the bright colors on the tail end and the subdued colors toward the front.
I can do white. I mean, that's what's cool in the crack flies. You can do any combination you want. Whatever your favorite colors are, it works on this. My absolute favorite, what I use probably 90% of the time, is this olive color with a tan tail.
Okay.
I just don't happen to have any tan craft fur at the moment. I got a bad batch. It's too short. Is that one I showed you?
Yeah.
It's all too short.
This is the end.
The little hackle pliers, grab a hold of that. Makes it easier.
And you're pulling to the rear as you go.
Pull to the rear, make a loop, brush it back, pull to the rear, and you make them pretty tight.
Yeah.
You want your wraps right on top of each other. Don't worry about it when it overwraps itself and makes this.
At the end, and we peel it over.
It looks nasty.
You're gonna pull it out anyway,
Pop
right?
it out here in just a minute, and it pops out really easy. It looks like a mess when you're doing it.
That describes most of my flies anyway.
I've watched people try to tie this, and they'll start fidgeting with this, and they end up spending 10 minutes on a fly because they're worried about that overlap.
Got you.
This stuff's put on with a wire. It's all put on there with a wire, so when you go up there and catch that tail end, you'll have a little piece of wire sticking up. Flip it off tight.
Those are regular wire cutters.
Yeah.
Toenail clippers work
Toenail
good too.
clippers work really well.
The ones that look like that. They got the curved point, so you can get really tight.
Yeah, that EP wire, that's great.
It's easy to work with. And I know all these other fly tires jump out here and they use their fingers and they do this little thing. My fingers don't work that way.
So you did not take the EP fibers past the lead.
Nope.
That's why you have the lead at the very front.
I want it at the very front like that, so I can get a coating on there. A little loon. Like I said, I want my flies to last. I got times when I got customers on the front of the boat that've caught upwards of 30 fish on one fly. Between the glue on the base and the hard head on the front, they don't come apart. With that and all the everything being synthetic,
Yeah.
this is the part that I was talking about. Just pick it out.
Okay.
Stick that in there,
Collar.
pull straight up.
It's going to be a standard size, a narrow size rabbit strip. All this is big
Spin it around a couple times and make sure you got all of it picked out. But it picks out real easy. That's awesome.
We're going to palmer it.
Get it to there.
To make it easier to tie in.
Black.
They cut it.
This is an important part of the fly. I've tied some without it, and I've played with them out on the water.
And fold those fibers back.
They don't look near as good without the stripes.
Okay.
The stripes it kind of gives it some life when it's out on the water.
Tie it in on top.
Pull it back. Put your stripes in there. Brush back, and then you're done.
So bring the thread to the
That's how
head.
you can do it any color combination. This is my favorite.
As I'm wrapping it,
That's the one I use
pulling the
most of the
fibers
time.
back.
I'm zooming in.
Back. Ready?
I use that color probably 90% of the time.
Got you.
Kind of let
The one you made fun of a minute ago with the pink. I use that one a lot. When they're on shrimp real hard,
Yeah.
you throw that in the water and it looks a whole lot like a shrimp.
Huh.
Do the same front with a tan tail.
Yeah.
It'll be a monocolor, but with the stripes.
Okay.
As that starts moving through the water,
release the fibers,
makes a big difference.
pull them to the back.
That's how I've tied them without the stripes. They just don't look near as, they don't look alive. in the
Now,
water
why do
without
you
the stripes.
choose to use the Sharpie rather than the prismatic? Just because that's what you got on hand? Cheap? Yeah, well, I got you.
Yeah, I understand. Dried.
Wait,
Drying the eyes. And put that hard end on there. Stick them on. And it just keeps it moving. They dry pretty quick, but otherwise you end up with a big grip. There.